Hi guys, this is Shayna from YumiYarns.com, and today I'm back with our second lesson in our Toe Up Socks class. So yesterday we learned all sorts of things. We did a slip knot, we learned how to do Judy's Magic Cast On, we learned how to tell if our stitches were twisted, we learned how to do a make one left, make one right, we learned the rate of increase that we need to make it into a toe and not something weird. So yesterday was jam-packed full of stuff and it was kind of a long lesson. So if you need any refreshers on those, go back an episode and watch that. I'll put links to everything down below. Today we're using Suburban Stitcher Sock Yarn. Diane was nice enough to send us this beautiful sea smoke colorway that we're using for our toe up socks. And look at how cute it is. Look at how precious that little baby toe is. It's all knitting up beautifully. I love this colorway. It's just so pretty. So today, our next task is knitting the foot, which is way easier than all the stuff we did yesterday, especially since we're doing a stockinette sock. So stockinette is just the fabric that we're making, where it's just knit stitches on the outside, so you can see all the nice smooth V's lining up beautifully. And then your purl bumps are on the inside. That's all these little bump things. That's the back of your purl stitches. So, nice and smooth outside, purly on the inside, but because it's all the same kind, it's not gonna feel weird on your feet. So, we're doing a stockinette sock since this is just a basic vanilla sock, which all that means, if you see it written somewhere you don't know what they're talking about when they say something's a vanilla sock, it just means that it's a very basic, simple pattern. Excuse me, sometimes it might have a really simple rib, but for the most part, they're just talking about like, it's just going to be easy peasy, straightforward, nothing fancy going on. So no patterning, no nothing. Usually it's just stockinette. And since that's the kind of sock we're doing, knitting the foot is really, really easy because literally all you're going to do is keep knitting around in circles until your sock measures from the tip of the toe to where your needles are. You'll lay your sock out flat and measure how long it is. You want it to be 2 inches for the size I'm making, which is a 64 stitch sock. I want it to be 2 inches shorter than the actual length of my foot. If you're making smaller socks or a different circumference, so like if you have a 32 stitch sock, which would be very tiny and probably for a child or baby, you're not going to need 2 inches. You're gonna need less than that because when you make your heel, it's going to be a similar taper to how your toe is. So your heel is going to be pretty close to the length of your toe. Not exactly, because the rate of increase on your toe is slightly different than the short row heel I'm going to be showing you. So like if we measure right now, I'm at 1 3/4 inches, or about what, 4.5 centimeters, 4 centimeters, something in there. And the reason I know that I'm going to need close to 2 inches is, one, I've done a lot of socks that are 64 stitches. But when we did our toe, we did where we increased really fast every row for a few rounds, or we increased every round for a few rounds, and then we gradually did every other. Your heel is going to have a little bit different rate of increase and decrease than your toe does. So your heel is going to be not the exact same as your toe. But that kind of gives you an estimate, and if you don't know somebody's exact measurements, you can use that as kind of a way to guesstimate how long to make the foot before you start your heel. So, like, say I didn't know that I needed the 2 inches for my heel. Once my toe's done, I could measure, see where I'm at. So, oops, 1 3/4. So if I need a 10-inch length, which I do because I have big feet, I know I'm going to want that much short of 10 inches before I start my heel. And that'll give you a good size fit for your sock. There's also size guides online, so like if you're wanting to do gift knitting or something like that, you can use estimates based off of shoe size, and I'll link some of those in the post that I'll do on yumiyarns.com with all the details and links and everything, but I'll put links for a bunch of the stuff down in the show notes here too. But yeah, so foot for us is going to be super easy. We're just going to knit around and around and around until it's the length we need it to be. And then if you are working a pattern, so not what we're doing, but just some info for you going forward. If you're working a pattern, at this point, it's not going to matter a whole lot which side you decide is your instep stitches, so the top of your foot, and which side is the bottom of your foot. The only thing you want to pay attention to is whichever side you pick, make sure that when you start your heel, you put your heel on the side that has a stockinette. Every once in a while you'll find a pattern that has patterning all the way around the sock. I actually have a pattern that does that, and that's to keep your gauge because the stitches used make it weird and don't play nice with stockinette. But for the most part, you will only have patterning on the top of the sock and then stockinette on the bottom. So just make sure that your heel lines up with the stockinette side and that you're not putting all of your patterning underneath your foot. But I'm going to work on the foot of my sock and get that knit up because, like I said, I have big feet, so I have a bit of knitting to do. And I will be back with tomorrow's tutorial where we will start our short row heel. And with that, we'll be using German short rows, so that's kind of fun and exciting. So get a little bit of a rest day today with just some straight knitting, and then tomorrow we jump right back in with some fun new techniques. If you need any help, you can always contact me. You can email me, message me, whatever. Like I said, I'll have links for everything at the bottom. Yeah, that is about what I've got for you guys today. I hope you're having fun with your socks. If you want to try your hand at a pattern pair, I've got the Indie Sock Along going. That's $2 to sign up, and you get 12 sock patterns, one each month for the rest of the year. We feature a new indie dyer each month, and Suburban Stitcher is our January dyer, so really appreciate how helpful she was with sending the yarns for the tutorials. So please go and support her, buy some beautiful yarn. And I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow. Happy knitting!